Welcome back for another Tune It Up Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about low Z or high Z cabling and different applications that you may encounter trying to hook up something that you have purchased that requires one or both of these cables. Now what I have here, this is a standard mic cable. It's also known as an XLR cable or a low Z cable. This is 3 strands of copper wire running throughout the cable. And the plug format here has 3 pins as well. You can see this is the female end. The shielding here, where you plug this thing in and out, is not connected to any of the wiring, so therefore when you grab this, if you've got it to a live mic or something like that, you're not going to hear it ground. Okay, so again, there is 3 wires in here. This is the male end, and you can see the 3 prongs. It does also have a locking clip. A lot of times when you're inserting this into various audio devices, it can lock itself into place. That way it can't get kicked and unplugged or different things like that. I mean, that's actually a nice feature. Okay, this low Z is considerably quiet. When you plug a microphone, something that has phantom power, that's another reason it has 3 wires, is because now we can actually run phantom power to a microphone or a device that requires it. But this cable is a little more quiet when plugged up, and it's just simply a better application for microphones and things like that. And another nice feature about low Z cables is you have the ability to run for farther distances. You can plug this thing up, and if this is a 20-foot mic cable, if this is not long enough, you can plug another 20-foot mic cable into it and get to where you're going. Okay, snakes, for instance, it's no different than these cables, simply all in one spot. So what you see here behind me on the mixing board, that is 16 XLR cables run into a single cable format all the way to the back, and then you plug in the various microphones into the box back there. Okay, keeps everything consolidated and less clutter laying out on the floor. Makes it real handy. I am able to run I'm setting about 45 feet away from all the equipment back there and just simply run it back in here with the snake. All of that is XLR cables or low Z. Now almost all of your standard microphones, higher quality microphones, will have an XLR cable. A lot of the interfaces you buy nowadays, you can have either an XLR input output or 1/4 inch input output. And if you have that option, the XLR is going to be your better option for you. Microphones, typically if you have an XLR connector on the end of your microphone, that's a little higher quality than say one that has a 1/4 inch instrument output on it. Those are typically used for karaoke machines and things like that. Not that you can't get some high quality microphones in that application as well, but your Pro gear is going to have these XLR connectors to them. Okay, so that may be a pointer for you if you're looking at something to purchase and you're wondering what the difference between XLR and 1/4 inch input or output is again 3 wires here, a lot quieter and able to run long distance in a low Z 3-put XLR connector versus our 1/4 inch instrument connector that has 2 wires in it. Okay, we get a little more noise in these 1/4 inch cables. Alright, so next up what we have here, this is simply an instrument cable. This is a 20-foot instrument cable. We have the 1/4 inch plug-ins here, and what we have, there's a small plastic ring that separates our tip from what's called the sleeve. Alright, now this is our hot and this sleeve is our ground. So it's actually attached, the wire inside is simply soldered, and when you grab a hold of this, that's why you always hear it when you're plugging up. If you have your guitar or whatever you're attempting to plug up, once you touch this, you can actually hear the grounding going on. Okay, it's not a loud noise, but you'll hear it, and that's simply because now we have 2 wires in the instrument cable, and again, as you grab a hold of it, because you're standing grounded, you'll hear that reaction between the cable and ground. Alright, now these are capable of running about 30 feet before you start getting into losing input power to wherever you're sending your signal to. They do not suggest you run these high Z cables much farther than 30 feet before you've hit something to actually start amplifying the signal again, boosting the signal. Okay. Again, you can get these in various forms, all the way down to the simple patch cable here for hooking up stomp boxes or something that you need simply a 9-inch cable for. These are a little noisier, so when you plug into anything that you have, say like your digital interface, it may have an XLR connector along with this 1/4-inch input that simply has a circle in the middle where you can plug this in. Your XLR is going to be a better choice for cable for you. It's going to be a little bit quieter, and again, if you have something running that's phantom power, etc., that's going to be a better option for you. Now these cables will have some type of a stamp on them to let you know what type of cable you have in your hands. For instance, this one is it's a live wire advantage instrument cable, and it will run itself. They'll have that stamped along the length of the cable for you. Now, the thing you have to watch for with these 1/4-inch connectors, that's also the same size they use for hooking up speaker cabinets to the back of amplifiers. This used to be the standard for all of them before they finally started putting either the new Speak-On or Nutrix cable. Okay, so you have to be careful. Make sure when you're purchasing something to hook up, if you want input, get an instrument cable. If you want speaker cable, then make sure you specify that you're getting speaker cable, because they will have the same ends on them. And what you're looking at here is the back of the mixing board, the power amps, and PA processor, etc., is where things starts getting confusing. What type of cable you're going to need, and you can see I pretty much have everything hooked up back here as far as cabling, from 1/4-inch patch cables all the way up to speaker banana clips going into the power amp. So this is our Speak-On, and it does have a twist lock. This is a speaker cable. Typically your Speak-On or Nutrix cable will be speaker cable. Okay, so you can see that, and again, it's just an easier way to make sure you get a good connection and it's locked in place. But on the back of these power amps, each piece of audio gear will have a specific in or out cable that you will need. So again, if you already have your piece of gear, you can take that with you to the music store, or you can look at your manual and order what you need. Now here on the speaker cables, I am using, because these power amps are capable of pushing a lot of wattage, we're 2,000 watts on the bottom amp here, so I am using an 8-gauge speaker cable that's running back, and I always keep my speaker cables the same length, because if you're pushing one side at, say, a 50-foot cable and the other side at a 25-foot, you are sending different power levels to the longer or shorter cable. Whatever the application is that you're attempting to install, look it over thoroughly and get the exact cables that you need. Specifically when you get into the 1/4-inch connectors, because there is a 1/4-inch is going to fit your speaker outputs, and that cable is not the same as a guitar cable, though the connector looks the same. They're not the same cabling. So just a brief description on various cables. Again, take your time, get exactly what you need. You're going to be happy with whatever you're attempting to hook up. Makes it easier, and definitely, you'll have to have it before you get to where everything's going to work for you. So, because most of this stuff, specifically professional audio gear, almost never comes with the cables you need. Okay? I hope this is helpful for you. I want to thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. You guys have a good day.